Welcome to the Cherry Picker, the horror movie podcast where we like to kill people, but not really. I'm your host, Zach Cherry, and with me as always is.
Tim McKay from Tim McKay Beauty.
And today we are talking about Final Destination 5, which was released August 12th, 2011. So we're coming up on 15 years here, believe it or not.
That's wild.
hmm I mean, this franchise is kind of, I mean, it was dormant for so long until last year when Bloodlines came out. But I think the interesting thing about this one, or the one that like it's always remembered for, is that it's actually a secret prequel.
Ooh, that's the big twist. And that is
Yeah.
like that's the best part about this movie, I think, is the big
Really?
I mean, I think that that is like the most gag-worthy twist out of all of these movies.
Were, were you gagged?
Yeah, I was extremely gagged, and I don't gag
Yeah.
lightly. I mean, actually, no, I do gag every time I brush my teeth. But I was gagged when I first saw this movie, and it was a secret prequel.
A secret prequel.
A
I feel like
secret.
and also 2011, The Thing remake came out. Like it was
Mm.
touted as a remake, and then I think like I don't know at what point in the movie, it might have been like right at the beginning where it was just like, no, this is a prequel.
Yep.
Because it was not sort of like advertised as one, or anywhere in like the development of it was it stated that it was a prequel. So that was kind of a surprise as well.
Because
But
that movie, that they were like the other group that like the people that the main characters in
yeah,
the
the
thing.
Norwegian camp.
Yes. Okay.
hmm
So, which like I mean with any prequel, you just know off the bat that they're gonna die. So, um
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
that
but
kind of sets the
who and
stage.
when and what, like how
Mm.
and all that. But yeah, with this one, I think that like what's really funny about it though is that it's a prequel. So technically, I think like the events of this are all taking place in early 2000.
Yes.
Yet, like everything about it, like like the cars and the like this hairstyles and clothing are very much of like the 2010s.
Especially the rock girl, like the rocker girl, Olivia with the eyes,
Yeah.
with the glasses. I was like, she
Yeah.
does not look like the '90s grunge people. Like, I can tell she's supposed
hmm
to be like this like punk rock like '90s girl. I'm like, no, she literally looks like she's straight off of 2011.
Yeah.
She looks like Jill from Scream 4 almost, like the same kind of hair.
No, Emma Roberts going on. Yeah.
Both those movies came out just a few months apart. So
hmm
yeah.
That's true. Yeah, Scream 4 would have come out just like a month before, perhaps. Or
One came out in April, one came out in August, so I don't remember
okay,
which one
yeah.
was which. Yeah,
Yeah, so that's
two
more than a
A's.
month, yeah.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
yeah, I maybe there was like some old style cell phones. I wasn't actually like
there
I
was.
yeah, the thing is like it's not like I forgot that I was watching a prequel. But I kind of did. Like I know the twist, but I was just sort of like so engrossed in the movie that it wasn't a thing that I was really being cognizant of. So I
Hmm.
forgot to like check to see like, okay, where are the clues? And apparently there are like when I believe the character's name is Isaac,
Yes.
because he's like rummaging around to like steal things from all of his dead coworkers, and there's the coupon for the massage, and apparently it's like the expiration is for the year 2000 or 2001.
Oh, okay.
So
I
like
didn't
little
notice
things like
that,
that.
but I
Yeah.
did notice his cell phone. His was the one that I noticed. It was a black, I don't know if it was a Nokia or Nextel. I don't know, but it was a black flip phone. So I recognized that. However, I think there was a mistake because the boss character, Dennis, in his
Mm.
office, he has a very thin computer. And I feel
Mm.
like in the year 2000, we all had huge brown computers. Because I'm like, when did we
They
all
were
get
still
those
like the
like
big boxy ones. Like if it was like the
yeah, they were
Macs
boxy.
that were
Hmm.
like that had like the translucent like pink or orange or
That was as
blue.
advanced
Yeah.
as it got, I think.
Yeah.
But even that, it wasn't that. It was like he had a really thin. I even rewound the scene because I was like, that's a really skinny computer for back then, a really thin
Yeah.
monitor for back then. So that was the one mistake I noticed.
There's not a lot of consistency in terms of like this idea.
Yeah.
Just in terms of like all the production details. Like they just sort of played fast and loose with it. And I mean, I guess like for the most part you just kind of accept it. Uh,
Yeah. and then it's only like because I mean when you're some of the cars I mean look a little bit older, but at the same time I also couldn't really remember what the cars were like back then. So I was
Yeah.
like, I don't know. It's not like it's like the 80s where you're like, oh, that's an 80s car, you know? I was like,
I'm
oh,
not
that's
so
like
good with cars to
yeah,
honestly
in
know that.
general.
But yeah, Amethyst is saying that one of the characters commenting on Olivia looking like Lisa Loeb was one of the hints. This was 2000. Lisa Loeb was still actually somewhat famous. LOL.
That's hilarious. Wait, who is Lisa Loeb? What is she from?
Uh, Lisa Loeb, she's a musician.
Is
Are you
she in a
serious right now?
band? Yes.
Sh- Okay, so sometimes I can't tell with you.
I know, I know, I know. Sorry.
Lisa, no, Lisa Loeb, she had like a lot of hits in the late 90s. I'm trying to think of like one. The funny thing is the only one that I really remember because she did a parody on Mad TV where they were making fun of Dawson's Creek, but it was called Pretty White Kids with Problems. And she's did like the theme song and she was just sort of like in the hallway of the school and it went pretty, pretty, pretty white kids with problems. They got problems too, something, something. And just like these adults, like clearly like in their 30s, just like playing
Mhm.
high school kids, but of course it was all Mad TV. She
Nice.
was also in House on Haunted Hill, which I actually just watched the other day.
Oh,
She's the
okay.
reporter at the very beginning who is interviewing Stephen Price, Jeffrey Rush's
Oh
character,
yeah.
and then James Marsters is the cameraman. So James Marsters from Spike from Buffy, from
When they do the
Spike.
elevator, right? When they do the
Yeah,
fake
the ele
elevator.
and it
Yeah.
was so funny because I was just thinking like this is like a really inefficient theme park because it's like every time someone has to go up, it's like 20 minutes just to get to the
Yeah.
top of the thing. And then like,
Mhm.
how are people not seeing like let's just ignore the fact that like the car is derailed every time. So maybe there's like a magic track that it lands on every time. But like, are people who are like waiting in line to see this roller coaster not seeing that this car is like flying off the tracks every time?
Yes.
But anyway, that's a whole other movie that
Yeah.
has been talked about on the podcast already. But yeah, Lisa Loeb, and she was also on Gossip Girl. She played herself. She was dating Penn Badgley's dad.
Okay,
Yeah,
Rufus.
yeah,
Um, all I remember, like when I think of that, all I think of is Christine from Scream 3. Um,
yeah. Kelly Rutherford, love
Heather,
her.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
all I think of when I think of
Melrose
Gossip
Place.
Girl.
Yeah. Um, Anyway, yeah, completely speaking of derailed, yes, Lisa
Yes.
Loeb, maybe like I would get it. I don't know how old, like, okay, so let's just say that this was like present day 2011 with somebody of Olivia's age. I think that she would know who Lisa Loeb was. I think that, like, because like, I think the cast of this movie was like probably around the same age as me. So, you know,
Late
they
20s.
in 2011.
I was only
I'd been
20.
like mid 20s.
Mid 20s, yeah.
I
I'm like,
believe,
you were in
yeah.
your like your 40s or no?
Well, if this is like
Um,
Texas Chainsaw 3D, where the girl is 25 and supposed to be 40, then yeah.
same thing.
There's actually been a thing because it's like she is 40 now in real life, and they were showing like pictures of her now compared to when she was in Texas 3D, and she looks the
Mm-hmm.
same. So
Exact same.
the joke is like actually it kind of works.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
did because they knew they picked the right actress for that. They're like, you're not going to age really, so this is actually very honest
Yeah.
casting.
Oh, Amethyst is also saying that Sixth Sense was referenced, and that was very 1999, 2000. You know
Oh.
what? I take that more than the Lisa Loeb thing because back in like 1999 and 2000, when like The Sixth Sense like first came out and was huge, everyone was quoting like "I see dead people,"
Yes, that was
and then
everywhere.
I mean, it was in Scary Movie that we talked
Hmm.
about last week, and it was just one of those things that's like, okay, shut up already. We get it. It just sort of
Yeah,
lost its luster after a while.
they should have picked someone else besides Lisa Loeb, I feel like. I don't know. Maybe they didn't want to make it
Yeah,
too obvious. Maybe they're trying to keep it really, really subtle until the end because like you say, like no one really
yeah,
looks like they're in the like late 90s, early 2000s.
yeah.
They throw like a velour tracksuit on someone and I think that's supposed to like kind of be the
I
time
was
period, but
more,
that's
I
it.
mean, with that guy who said that she looked like Lisa Loeb, I was more wondering like, where's he? When's he gonna come back? And because they sort of like set him up like because he's like, I guess I'll see you, like later this week, and then we never saw him again.
Never.
Never.
I did love the sequence though, especially after like, the downfall of Final Destination 4 and how terrible that movie was. I can't even rewatch that
Mm,
one. I can't even like rewatch that one.
yeah,
But like I think I just love the opening sequence of this movie and I love how it was made. I
yeah,
think that was such a cool high budget way that it was made.
yeah.
So
No,
that's
this
one
one
thing I will
looks
say.
really good. I mean, I'm trying to think. Okay, so let's go up to five because we haven't talked about six yet.
Yes.
So we've got the airplane in the first movie. We've got the log truck. We've got the
Car
roller
accident. Hmm.
coaster. We've got the race car track, and we've got the bridge. I think that
Hmm.
the log truck is always like, just in terms of like an opening disaster, like the best one. I think it's the
The
most
way to start
iconic.
it
It's
off.
it's 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 the one that like is the most memorable in terms like, when people see log trucks, like you automatically think, oh, Final Destination. Whereas like, you see a roller coaster or an airplane, you just, those are just more
Well,
like innate fears that people have.
Well, I was so when that movie came out, when the third one came out, that's right when I think I was right at that age when I was going to carnivals and fairs all the time. Like I was
Yeah.
in Rhode Island, there was the Cranston Feast. It would happen every summer, and so there was always carnivals that would be lasting so long. So like, there was always roller coasters, and I don't know if I ever told you this story before, but when I went to Disney World for the first time with my best friend, well,
Mhm.
second time, but the first time I remember it, I was a teenager. We were 16. We went on Space Mountain. And in Space Mountain, it's like three-seater, so it's like someone sits in the front, and then me, I was right in the middle, and then like Marissa, my best friend's right behind me. And so we're about to take off, and there's some stranger, some little girl is right in front of me, and Marissa behind me is like, Tim, I just had a vision. Oh my God, the tracks! And so we take off, and you see the little girl in front of me, like try to like look behind her. She's so scared, and we take off, and she's like, Tim, the tracks! Like the whole way. I was like hysterical. I couldn't stop. I was crying. I was like hysterical, laughing so hard because she's just
Mhm.
the whole way like, the tracks are broken. And yeah. So I just
Mhm.
yeah, I think that movie came out right at the time when I was constantly on roller coasters, and so that one did stick in my
Yeah.
mind the most. So yeah,
Yeah. How do
for
you feel
me.
about roller coasters now? Just
Well,
like where
now
if for where because you're mid 30s.
I love them.
Yeah.
I went to Six Flags for my birthday 2 years ago. And I
Okay.
made all my friends, they were all resentful. None of them wanted to do it.
Yeah.
Except for the one best friend. She came from Rhode Island and she was like super thrilled. But my New York friends were all like miserable. But I made them do it anyways because I was like, I'm
Yeah.
sober and we're gonna do an activity for my birthday. So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. I can't do them anymore. Like it was such a like a fun thing in
Yeah.
my adolescence and all that. But now when
Are
I
you
go
afraid of
to
them
it's not even
now?
that I'm afraid of them. It's just like it's just motion sickness and
Oh no, I
like
don't
just
get
like
that. Yeah.
feeling like queasy and stuff. Like I also like do not like waiting in lines. And even if you buy like
Hmm.
the fast passes and all that, it's like you're spending so much money to get that and you're still waiting in lines because everyone still
Yeah.
buys the fast passes. So it's like, okay, we've cut
Hmm.
we've cut the waiting time down from 3 hours to an hour. And it's like
Yeah.
this
No, it's
is
very true.
yeah.
But the
Um
fourth one had like no one can really relate to that one. The race car thing. Like it's not like anyone's like, oh yeah, I was actually
yeah.
in a huge audience the other day and I was terrified that a car would crash into me. Like no one really thinks of that.
They were really grasping at straws with ideas in that one. Like I think the most interesting thing, like that I'm recalling it now, is the car wash sequence.
Yeah.
But even then, that's so far-fetched that it's just like, okay,
And doesn't
whatever.
she not even die from the car wash? Didn't she
No,
survive? Yeah.
she survived the car wash.
So it's like the
The
coolest set piece they had. She survived.
Yeah. I mean, maybe there was another one. I'm just not remembering it now. I remember like the movie theater, and that was like a lot of them like didn't like they were
Hmm.
premonitions within the movie because it was just like a series of premonitions.
Yeah, it's the
Um,
escalator. Um, the
yeah.
escalator happening. Yep.
Hmm. Um, but yeah, I mean, with this franchise, and I might have mentioned this before, with Edward, it's like it, some of them are better than others, but it's just like it's one that just like they're a lot of fun. But I don't know if there's like a lot of rewatch value for me.
Mm.
What I like about this one is that it introduces a new idea into it in terms of like this sort of like trading lifespans. And
Yeah.
that I think that kind of like gave this movie like some legs and was able to just not be the same old thing. Because I think that like every movie kind of had a thing. I mean, obviously the first one was just sort of like the idea, the initial concept, and then the
Yeah.
second one, there was like this whole thing about
It went in
like the
reverse.
resurrection and like yeah, but there was like a
It
whole thing where because
Oh,
she
a
drove
death
the ambulance.
new
Yeah.
life new yeah, death brings new life, or new life will stop the chain of death, something like that.
Yeah, and then the third one, I think it was more of just because like she had like it was almost like the Omen where she's taking photos of things and that sort of like
Yes.
being the showing what's going to happen next or who's going to die and how. And the fourth one, I just don't think it really did anything. I think it was just sort of
No.
there. It was
That the
3D, you know?
the fourth one felt very like cartoon. Yeah, it felt like very like made for TV, made for like a Saturday afternoon, like on
Yeah.
TV kind of show. But I'll always have a soft spot for the third one. I love the third one so much. That just
Yeah.
like it was right at that age when like horror was like everything to me. So um
That one came out in 2006, right?
yeah, so I was
Yeah.
15. It was like perfect time for that to
Yeah.
come out.
Hmm.
Um but yeah, I love that one. And but I do like this one a lot too. I like I like that it still has a gritty-ish kind of feel, like a dark feel, like an angry feel, like death feels like it's angry in this one.
Okay.
Still, but I felt like some of the acting was a little bit crunchy at times. Like in the beginning, like they're really trying to make that guy who's usually a funny actor, the bald guy Dennis, he's the boss in this movie. They're trying
Right.
to
Yeah.
like I was like, is he supposed to be the comedic relief in this movie, or is he supposed to be a serious jerk? Because like sometimes his jokes landed, sometimes they didn't. Like towards the end of the movie, he became kind of like the comedic relief. But like in the beginning, I was like, he's just like no one here is likable. I'm like, who here is likable in this whole cast? Like
I thought
everyone
that
is either
the I thought that the
who
main couple was likable.
depressed Molly, like the very first, like they're like about to go on this
Mopey
work trip.
Molly. Yeah.
Mopey Molly gets out of her car. He's like, "Hey, babe!" Like literally has not a clue in his mind that she's gonna break up with him. And like so, obviously they've been like hanging out. Everything is just fine. They probably had a conversation on the phone the night before. Everything was just fine. And she's like,
Yeah.
"Hey." Like and just like going on this work trip with, and he's like, "Why are you like literally telling me this now?" Like, I understand. He probably did plan the bridge collapse, um, with a
Yeah.
girlfriend
Well,
like that.
I mean, I don't think that they were all.
I'm
I
just
like
joking, but I'm like
comparative
Mopey
to
Molly.
she was mopey, but like I liked Olivia, and I liked the main guy. Uh,
Oh my
Help me
God!
out.
So,
Yeah.
Sam, and
Thank you. Yeah, because he kept calling him Stan.
yep.
Yeah.
But this is huge. I don't know if anyone will agree with me on this, but I want to know, does anyone who's played Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil 8, Biohazard and Village? Because to me, he is Ethan Winters. Do you know who Ethan Winters is from Resident
Yeah.
Evil 7? Yeah, like
Yeah. He's the
he
playable character.
he literally looks like in the very few times that we've seen like shots of Ethan's face, like I'm like to me, like this guy is Ethan Winters. Is that weird? I don't know. That's who I see when I see Ethan Winters.
I don't remember ever seeing Ethan Winters. Like they always,
Okay.
purposefully
Didn't
hid his
show up, but then
face.
I think once they came out with third person, like third player, over the
Yeah.
shoulder, like they started coming out with some shots. You'd see like, little glimpses of him, and so like this whole movie, I was like, God, he looks like Ethan Winters to me.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Who's the black guy?
I don't know. His name
His
is Nathan. His character's name
Nathan,
is
right.
Nathan,
Yeah.
but I don't know
Okay.
the actor.
I
But
liked
I know
him.
he's
He
okay. I
was
mean,
likable.
he was likable. I mean,
Yeah.
my favorite character in this was Tom Cruise. I call him
In all
Tom
the right
Cruise.
moves. He does look like Tom Cruise.
He's
Oh, yeah.
and he played Tom Cruise in something. Was it he didn't do it in Scary Movie, but he did Tom Cruise look like in something else. Like he did like
Okay.
a impression of him and and yeah, so he was my favorite character because like yeah, I just see him as Tom Cruise. So this whole
Yeah.
movie in all my notes I kept writing Tom Cruise throughout the whole
Tom
thing.
Cruise. Tom Cruise. If you pause it right, you can see his penis.
Yeah.
Nerdy boy. Molly was definitely a little irritating for me, but I love Emma Bell. I remember she was in the Dallas revival from 2012. That's right. I was thinking that. Did you ever
What's
watch
that?
so do you know the show Dallas, like from the 70s
No.
with Patrick Duffy and Larry Hagman and the theme song goes like bum 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 bum. Anyway, it's
No.
like this like oil dynasty in Texas. They did a reboot and it was like kind of like the legacy, like the Halloween 2018 and the Scream 2022, where they brought back the original cast to
Oh,
play their roles, but then they had like the children and Jesse Metcalf. You know who that is, right?
Desperate Housewives.
Desperate Housewives and John Tucker Must Die. He was like the son, like Christopher Ewing. Also Jordana Brewster from The
Ah,
Faculty and the Fast and Furious movies and Hard Eyes.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning, yeah.
The beginning.
As
Another
as
prequel.
well, yeah, another
Uh,
prequel. She's also in it. I think like she was his girlfriend. Anyway, that show, yes, Emma Bell, who's Molly in this, was in that. She was also in a movie that I kind of like love to hate or hate to love. Frozen, not the Disney musical,
Oh,
the one
that's
where they're
her.
on the chairlift and yeah.
I have seen her in that because the whole time in the movie I was like, I have never seen her in anything else, and I have seen her in that.
No, you have. And I
Yes.
believe she was also on The Walking Dead, which I stopped
Oh,
watching like
I thought you were gonna say she was
some time
also
ago.
depressed in that movie. I'm like, well, she was. She was stuck on a ski thing the
I
whole
think
time.
she was happy before that happened. They were all in pretty good spirits,
Well,
but
yeah.
yeah,
She
I
didn't
don't.
spring a breakup last minute.
Nicholas D'Agosto is the one that you said looks like the Resident Evil dude.
Mm,
Um,
mm-hmm.
he was in Election from 1999. The Reese Witherspoon one. I'm just looking at his filmography. That's literally the first role he had.
Oh,
Psycho Beach Party. Um, Most recently, Perfect 10. But yeah, the guy who plays Dennis, David Koechner, like he is the most recognizable actor,
yes,
I
absolutely. He's
thought.
been in 500,000. He always kind of plays the same character, or he always looks the same.
Hmm.
Like he's not one of those character actors that they try to change for different roles. Like he literally
Yeah.
looks exactly the same.
Well, he's the manager from Waiting, if you remember that movie.
Well, no, you've brought up waiting so many
Yeah.
times, and I always tell you, I'm like, I need to, because I
Did I
think
bring
that
it up
that
last week?
you might have, or the
Yeah,
week
because Anna
before.
Faris is in it. Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Hmm.
and I remember because it came out around the same time as Just Friends, and so I remember seeing Just Friends, and I don't remember ever seeing Waiting,
Yeah.
but
No, that's fair. But yeah,
yeah,
I feel like in the 2010s, like this is where the the well-known celebrities and horror movies kind of started to taper off quite a bit. Like there were like a few exceptions where it was like if there was like one like star to headline something, but like big like large casts of things,
mm,
there was just like fewer and far between. Like by the time we got to the late 2000s, like you wouldn't see a lot. It was like a lot of unknowns. And that's why like Scream 4 when that came out and they had like all the people. I mean there's quite a few unknowns in that, but just like to
hmm,
have like Hayden Panettiere and Emma Roberts and Adam Brody,
yeah,
like all these people like in it, it's just like, oh wow, like they're like getting like moderately famous people to be in horror movies again. So like
yeah,
this coming out like in 2011, it makes sense that it was just not really a lot of well known. And I think because it is filmed in Vancouver, as like most of the Final Destinations were, it might just be like a predominantly Canadian cast as well.
yeah. That's very true.
Hmm.
Um, that's actually something I learned about Hellraiser. That was a English film, which I didn't know. Um,
Yeah.
so it's so interesting when you learn that, and then they'll often hire local, and that makes sense. It's way cheaper to hire local, so the
Yeah.
cast will be Canadian. So yeah, that makes sense. But
It's so funny because like I always think of in Hellraiser, Ashley Lawrence's boyfriend character in that, like whatever he is, like the love interest, like because he is
Frank, the
no,
bad
that's the
guy.
uncle. No, like
Oh
the
yeah.
younger guy that she's like, goes home with.
Oh him. Yeah.
Yeah, because he's a British actor and they dub him with an American guy, but there's like dialogue where like she's just talking about like how he sounds, stuck up or whatever, like all of you do.
Hmm. Yeah.
Just like her stepmother, because she's English. So
Yeah.
it's just funny when like the dialogue betrays the dub.
Yeah, and the guy who played Frank, his voice was dubbed over because he was British, and so they
Hmm.
actually dubbed over his voice, which he didn't know they were going to do that. Like during filming, he spoke his lines and he said
Yeah.
it with the British, but then they dubbed over it for they say it was to help it sound more like the actor who played him as like the skeleton guy.
Mm.
But they were also like plus they wanted it to be broader in America. Different
Yeah.
movie. We
And
yeah,
then
but
and then
anyways.
most of the time, like these actors don't even know. They just find out when they see the movie for the
Yeah.
first time.
Yeah, you
But
have no control. You'll find out after the edit. So
but yeah, I don't believe that anyone was dubbed in this. Before we get into it any further, I should do the typical housekeeping.
that's right.
So if you are brand new to the Cherry Picker, or if you have been, with us for a while, thank you very much for choosing the Cherry Picker. There's probably a lot of horror movie podcasts out there. So, we're really appreciative that this is the one that you are currently
Woo!
listening to. But, if you want to give back a little bit, you can head over to my Patreon at patreon.com/Zack Cherry, ZackCherry. And if you are supporting at the Freddy Krueger tier or higher, you will get to do a lot of fun things. Like you can join us for the recording of every one of these episodes. We do them as live streams. So if you're watching this, you
Mm-hmm.
can see the chat going on in the middle there. If you have any, little trivia tidbits or opinions or pushback you want to throw our way, it's always fun to, hang out and talk about the movies with you guys. But
Mm-hmm.
on top of that, you also get the opportunity to nominate and vote for the last movie that we cover for each month. So I know all the nominations are currently in. I'm going to check that out tomorrow and put up the poll. So, if you want to head over and subscribe at this point, you might get to vote, but you surely will be able to nominate for next month. And then there's just lots of other fun things like, shout outs and monthly reviews. You can even do one-on-one video calls with yours truly. But
That's right.
having said that, I do want to thank, firstly, the Michael Myers tier. So thank you very much to Kyle Beard, Sam Levy, Ellie Hamoosh, Shane Allingham, Tim McKay, hey,
Hey.
Horselet 95, Austin Hall, Final Girl Gemma, Tara Day, Michael Boswell, DEF CON, ML Hughes, and then thank you to the Ghostface tier, Eric Champney, Daniel Saturn, Stephanie Starbright, Baby Ghoul, Garrison Nichols, Josh Burrow, and then I know your name's not on here, Craig, but thank you to Craig as well. So appreciate all of y'all. And yeah, you got a premise for us?
I do. Why wasn't Craig's name on there?
Uh, well, I think that there was like, sometimes with Patreon, there's like issues arise where it's like credit cards or, like canceled or stolen or things like that.
Ah,
So,
indeed,
it
indeed,
puts
indeed.
it puts people in a position where they have to get a new one. So, I don't want to leave him out because
Because you
of
know
just
it's yeah,
yeah.
you know what it is. You know what
Yeah.
it is.
We chatted. He's here with
Yeah.
us
And we
in
love
the
Craig.
chat. Yeah. Hey
Yeah.
Craig. Craig, I mean, yeah, I didn't want to say it, but here's Craig. Craig was robbed in Paris.
Ah,
And I feel like if there's ever a place to get robbed, it's nowhere more glamorous than getting robbed in Paris.
and just be glad that your plane didn't explode on the way to Paris, right?
Yeah.
That that was for the movie that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Sorry. But
Yeah.
anyways.
Dark, Tim, very
Yeah,
dark.
dark. But I mean, I mean, well, it's reference Paris, you know, because the movie that
Hmm.
we just watched reference Paris.
Yes.
But that sucks, Craig, and I'm very sorry. Very, very sorry. But what is this movie about, you ask? Well,
Please.
After a horrifying suspension bridge collapse is narrowly avoided thanks to a chilling premonition, a group of coworkers thinks they've cheated fate. But as one by one they begin to die in increasingly brutal and unexpected ways, they realize something terrifying. You cannot run death's design, you can only delay it. And this time, the rules may be even darker than before in Final Destination 5.
Or is it zero point 0.5? Ooh.
Oh, because it's a
Um,
half.
because
Oh,
it's
you're
a
absolutely right.
because it's a before time. But
Yes.
yeah,
Something I noticed actually, because Tony Todd is in this movie,
he
and it's
is,
nice because I
yeah.
think it was the first he made his return since the second one, and
Hmm.
he talks a lot in this movie. He like is a lot more open with the kids. He tells them like right up front, basically, like what the curse is, like what death is about, and how to beat it with this
Yeah.
new lore. And it's the only time he's really been that upfront about it. And I think that that might actually be a service to it being a prequel because maybe he felt like he tried helping this group and then like he gave less information as he went along um to like the next couple movies.
Maybe. I mean,
He was much more
this is
mysterious in the first two movies.
yeah, well, I mean, he has more than one scene in this as well, whereas like in the first two, I believe he only had the one scene each. And also, as Amethyst is pointing out in the chat, Tony Todd wasn't in four, but he had a couple voiceovers in three. I know that he was at least the voice of the devil on the roller coaster at the beginning.
Yes.
So,
Fun
more
little,
reasons as to why four is the lesser of
yeah,
this
the little
franchise, because
outhouse
there's
of
no
this.
Tony Todd, and he is in the new one, but we'll save that for when we discuss that because there's new lore, and there's a lot more like information about him that goes in depth. But yeah, it's nice to see him, participating in this more because I mean like yeah, I mean, he's Candyman, obviously, and they really did him a disservice in the new one that came out in 2021. Like he was just not in that at all,
Mm.
really. I mean, like other than like the small cameo. So, it's nice that the Final Destination franchise uh shows a little bit more reverence to him. But I enjoyed him here and just sort of like the whole aspect of it because it does set up in a way like that this has been going on for a while and he's just talking about like other groups that have like come before him and
Yeah.
what you're watching and you're just like, oh, he's talking about like the Devon Sawas and
Yeah.
the Mary Elizabeth Winsteads and whatnot, even though he never
But he's
interacted with her.
not.
But yeah, it's just
Exactly.
like there's literally, this has been going on and a lot of that does tie into 2-6. But I also just love the fact that he's just kind of like lingering and hanging out. And they're like, what are you doing here? Why are you here? And then he just turns around and it's like as if like the medical examiner thing on the van wasn't enough, but like, oh, coroner over here on
Yeah.
the back of his jacket. But what I think is funny though, and this is like I don't know if it's like a goof or whatnot, because like in the first two movies, he works in a funeral
He was a
home.
coroner, like a
I don't
proper
think he's
coroner, isn't
I
he?
don't think he's well, he is in this one, but like
What
in
is
the
a
first
coroner
two,
again?
the coroner is like they
I thought they did
collect.
autopsies.
Yeah, like that's the medical examiner, but I feel like the
Oh.
coroner as well, and like just like collect the corpses and whatnot and take them back to
Mm.
the morgue in the
Yes. In the
morgue.
morgue. Yeah.
And but in the first two, it's like he like works in like the crematory or the whatever the not crematory, help me out here.
Um,
It was like a funeral home though. Like he was because he was like futzing around and like I think he
yeah.
was like
Where they do like the fire burnings, uh,
cremations and stuff like that.
cremations.
And or he was like
Yeah.
preparing them for their funeral or whatever it is. So I guess he just had like a change of career between this one and like
It looked like he
like
was working on the force in this one. Like this one, he was
yeah,
dressed up nice and he was
yeah,
like, so maybe he lost that as time went on. He started like, getting down just year after year. He's like, God, another
yeah.
group of kids that just keep
But
escaping
this is
death.
like 2 weeks later, and like or unless like maybe he like moonlights.
Oh, that's so true because then
Yeah,
the next movie literally is just a few. Well,
yeah,
are you talking about between the first movie and this movie? Because
yeah.
there's how many weeks go by before that
Well,
plane?
at the very end, it says 2 weeks later, and they're on the
Oh, it just says two
plane.
weeks. Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
So yeah, he got a new job quick.
Although in the first movie, I know that there's a span of several months that go by after the plane crash,
Yeah, that
and the
is
thing.
true. It's a slower.
All the same, that's still like a career change in like a matter of months.
Yeah.
Is a big thing. So maybe that was a flub. Maybe I'm just don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know. Feel free to chime in. But all the same, it was nice and maybe that's something that they did just to get him in the movie more and like allow him to be uh more of a presence in it. So I'm all
Yeah.
for it. And I mean like and also just in terms and not to like spoil six at all, but like his role in that is more similar to like what his role was here professionally. So maybe, you know,
No,
maybe he
he
just
was
did, he
good.
may yeah, maybe he just did it as a night job sort of thing.
Yeah, he's just the exposition guy. Like he's just the
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
go to for exposition, but he's just
Yeah.
entertaining. But I like that this movie brought back the idea of like the detective, kind of like that whole like a detective trying to like being suspicious of the main character and like wondering like how Devin saw why they were like, did you cause the plane crash? And then in this movie, it was kind of a similar thing. And I was wondering, I'm like, is it because reboots were so popular? Is this one was it trying to kind of feel like a reboot in a way? Um, with like bring because it brought back like a
Yeah.
very similar vibe of a detective trying to figure out is it like a terrorist attack or is it so I wasn't sure.
So yeah, this was I mean I'm glad that you liked it because this was a thing that I was sort of like felt was kind of filler and pointless. Like it wasn't until the end that I was just like, okay, that's why they had this character here. But it felt like at the beginning of them like interrogating all these people, like how firstly, like, how did they know that, okay, this guy had a vision or whatever, and that, like, all these people running off the bridge, there was like tons of survivors, not
Uh-huh.
just like within their group, but on the other side. So it just felt weird that, like, they brought these people in. Like, this is a bridge that had construction on it that, like, suddenly they're like, oh, this was like a terrorist attack, or like someone caused the destruction of this. We're gonna bring in all these people and start interviewing them. It really felt like more of just a way to like exposit like the relationship between
Yeah.
the characters and like especially like with Molly and Sam
Hmm.
and to like just to, like yeah, just in case you weren't aware, this is what's happening here. But then you had this whole thing where there I guess Dennis was like in more closer communication with this federal agent and was
Hmm.
like, "Oh, Peter's like really acting sus." I
Yeah,
don't know
he
why
just
I
threw a
just said
glass at the
sus.
wall. He used to be
Yeah,
real
yeah,
sus.
yeah.
um
And just it just sort of like build that up, and it felt to me like, well, why is Peter the one? Like Peter's not the main character. If it like there should be more pressure if it was like Sam that was like under scrutiny. And that's sort of where it started, at least in this interrogation at the beginning.
mhm.
So it just felt like it was this thing that was added on that didn't really matter. And it mostly didn't. The only thing that it really paid off was that Peter killed him. And then that was sort of like his lifespan was the one that was like being transferred between the characters at that point. So he was just sort of like his purpose was literally just for that bit at the end.
Well, then well, not even because then he was going to kill Molly anyways. He was like, which made absolutely no sense
Yeah.
because he was like, well, now you just witnessed me killing a federal agent. So
So
now you
now
have
I'm
to die.
gonna.
I'm like, so now you're just a ghost face killer. Now you're just the ghost face killer after his
So
reveal and you're
mhm.
this full on psychopath because like, yeah.
Yeah, this is the thing that because this opens up like a whole load of other questions because it then makes me guess like okay, so can you like stockpile like if you just went and killed a bunch of people, do you just sort of like add on like years and years and
Yeah.
years? So it's just like,
You'll never
well, I'm
die.
gonna yeah, it's just like just continuously like kill people and then like you just like grow to be like you could be like 500 years old
Yeah.
and just like be melted and decrepit.
Yeah.
But the I guess the thing that felt like a bit of a plot hole is that they kill the agent, and then Peter gets his lifespan. But then Sam kills Peter, so Sam gets the whatever was like going to him, and then two
Yes.
weeks later he's killed on a plane. So does that mean that the FBI agent was also going like only had two
Gonna
weeks left
die.
to live? Because that's how they established it in like the very final scene when the guy's in the bar and he's just like, yeah, he had this like plopped blood vessel in his brain. He was gonna go any day now.
Yeah, no, that's so true. I never really thought about that. Because they were like, we just have to
Hmm.
get him on the plane no matter what, and he has to die on the plane. So like
Yeah.
we just won't think about that. And people are too gagged to even
Yeah.
think about that.
Gagged.
So
Gags
I do
us.
I do like to watch
Uh,
it like because I like to watch some like reactors, so
yeah.
I'll skip to the end just so I can just see this little gag moment and
Yeah.
everyone's always gagged. Um
Yeah. Well, Craig is saying that Molly doesn't make sense because she survived the bridge collapse, yet she was meant to die on flight 180 question mark. See, the
well
thing is like,
unless she was gonna die after his premonition ended, like unless like
yeah.
something else took her out and
I
we
mean,
didn't
I
see
feel
it.
like in this franchise they've sort of established that like, new things can come in here and there. Like it's almost like this like the chaos theory where like anything you do is just going to like cause a ripple effect uh moving forward. I think that's the chaos theory, right? But
Mm.
the, I mean this franchise has been very like confusing before. Like everything with Final Destination 3 because like with the roller coaster thing, like a lot of the domino effects of like sort of what caused the roller coaster to derail or whatever was because of like the things that like the camera, for instance, that the guy had
Yes.
that was on there. And if he's not on there, then that's not part of the like that's not a variable that's causing the crash anymore.
You have to assume
So
that something else went wrong and something
something
else
else that
caused
like
it to go
death
wrong.
like snuck in and did things. But this movie, it didn't feel like the one time that I noticed is more so like in like the gymnast scene because you had like the water dripping and all of that, like
Yes.
almost like the water creeping towards it, like that was death from the first movie. But otherwise, it didn't feel like, we didn't have like the in three with the tanning beds where it's just like
Mhm.
clearly there's like all this stuff that's sort of like creating this Rube Goldberg effect of just like causing one thing to happen and then the other that's like clearly like you could see death just sort of like pushing the dominoes over because in this one it just feels like just like suddenly stuff happens and it makes me like like feel like the massage parlor, for instance, that's like they're fucked because now this like they're liable for that guy's death because everything that happened is on them. It
Yeah.
wasn't like at least with like the tanning bed and stuff, like those girls brought in the Slurpees. They were like doing things that like they turned up the stuff like it's almost like it's on them because they did that. Like
Well,
the
no, because that guy left. He went out on a phone call talking to his wife to go outside and like
yeah.
let
I mean,
them
there's
shut the door on him.
there's an argument to be made, but there are signages that
Yeah,
say like you can't bring this in and stuff. So if it like came down to like, like families suing over this or whatever, it's like
there is a
they
sign.
yeah, they
Yeah.
might not be able to. Whereas here, it's like this guy just went in there and all this stuff happened because it was like the negligence of the place. So it makes me think like, is death that petty that it's like we're gonna kill this guy, but we're also gonna like fuck over this business in the process?
Yeah, we're gonna actually ruin the income and the lives of
Uh,
all these people.
Yeah. And
Um,
like the same thing with like the LASIK office.
oh no, he's a horrible doctor, and he's actually in one of my options for who deserves to die the most because
Mm.
I'm like
Well,
I hate him as a doctor. I'm like you're a horrible person.
okay, well can we just talk about that scene too? Because when she goes to throw out the glasses, it just like because she leaves the cup of water on top of the cooler, which like it struck me as odd because it didn't really the movie didn't make a point to make a big deal out of it. Like it didn't have an insert shot or like a close up of her putting the cup there, which normally I would suspect that they would do if that's like, oh, this is going to come into play. She just puts it
Yes.
there and leaves it, and I'm thinking like the trash can was right there. Like I've never in my life just like left a piece of garbage in an office like that, especially when like the doctor of that office is right there
Yeah.
having a conversation with you. It's almost like, here, let me just like disrespect your clinic while we're doing this. But yeah, you're totally right in the sense that like there's more liability on their end for what happened to her. But I also
Yeah.
feel like that equipment, like there's no way that like that's laser would do what it did
All
to
that
her.
stuff.
Yeah.
Well, it's because I was comparing it to the second movie when Tim, the other Tim, is at the
Mm,
dentist's office, and that dentist leaves him alone for a little while, and like he almost like chokes to death on the plastic toy. That was a little bit that was better of a scene because that had like different things. I think it's done really well in these movies when like things are happening from all different parts of the room and like not even and some of them have nothing to do with how the person ends up dying, like kind of
hmm.
like the guy in the first movie when he was in the bathroom. You're not sure if
Yeah.
he's gonna like get electrocuted, you're not sure if he's gonna slip, you're not sure if he's gonna cut himself. So
It's
this
the
movie,
misdirection.
yeah, and this movie,
Yeah.
like I think I agree with you, like it wasn't very good at that. Like her in like the Tim in the dentist's office was much more effective than her in the laser office because I feel like the doctor just like left because of the paperwork. He was like, "Oh, the paperwork's wrong, so I'm actually gonna leave you here while your eye is like while you're unable to blink." It just was very
Hmm.
unrealistic. Whereas in the second movie, the doctor had to run out because the bird went through the window, so he had to go out there and help.
Yeah.
Um, so this one, I was like, he's just being terrible. But I think
Yeah.
that the gymnastics scene, I wanted to touch on that because you mentioned it. That one, I think, was the one that did it the best of this movie.
I agree. Because there was more going on. Like everything did end up playing a role in it. So it wasn't like there was like red herrings of like, oh, is it going to be this or is it going to be that? It was literally like a chain reaction of like this then causes
Mm-hmm.
that to happen and that to happen and that to happen.
Yep.
So I liked that. But then there was also like, some suspense at like the bar or whatever that she was like spinning around on because it was like coming undone. It
Yeah.
was all rickety before. But
It
like
was very
that's
effective. Very,
but I
very
think like
effective
that's
that scene.
where like everything that you're describing is sort of like these movies have to do that because otherwise it's very telegraphed in terms of what is going to happen. I mean like obviously with the the LASIK office, like she slipped on the button, like the
Yeah.
eye, and like fell out the window and whatnot. But like I that is an element that I love where it's just like there's so many things and it's like you don't know what it is that's ultimately going to cause a death. And that's actually something that they did in 4 with like the mom going to the hair salon because there
Mm-hmm.
was just so many
Very
things like
similar.
happening. Yeah. So I thought that scene was actually, while we're talking about this, like probably did it better. Um, but that's the thing. It's like you have to rely on the mystery. Like you know that this person's going to die, probably. Like there's some
Mm-hmm.
instances in this franchise where, we talked about it with the car wash where we think someone's going to die, but they don't. So like throw in as much misdirection as possible because it's like the tension comes from not knowing that like whether they're going to die or not because it's like,
Yeah.
it's probably a given that they will, but how it's going to happen because now you're bracing yourself for like ooh, is it going to be like this? Like, you've got this like buzz
Yeah.
saw or whatever, and then it's funny because then it ultimately turns out to be not, maybe it's a paper cut.
Well, I was gonna say I like it better when like when the payoff is actually really worth it. Like I thought like I liked what you're saying in the fourth one where she's at the hair salon and you're not sure what's
Yeah.
gonna kill her, but then she ends up dying because a coin goes through her eye. So I just thought that was kind of dumb. Like I
Yeah.
thought that like as the payoff was like, oh, all these things could have happened and then she died
Yeah.
so quickly and her
The,
kids were right there, which kills me.
yeah. Well,
But
Amethyst is saying it was actually a rock shot through her eye.
oh,
But I mean,
oh
that
yeah.
that was established at the start of the scene because it was like showed the guy like mowing the grass and the rock
Yeah. It was just
was
so
there.
quick. It was like
Yeah.
ting dead. It was
Yeah.
like I like when it's more of like a big like how in this one like you thought it would be the laser thing that was gonna kill her, but then I mean it was still quick, but it was a little bit
Hmm.
longer. She slips, she goes through the glass, falls.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah, you
yeah,
want you want the payoff to be, like uh, equate to the journey there.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And Todd's too like well that was really great in the first one.
And the first,
But yeah.
okay, with the wire.
Yeah,
and
that one really grossed me out.
the
But I think,
strangulation.
but for this movie, I remember like ever since I saw it the first time, like Candace's death with the gymnastics was always the hardest one for me to watch. I just feel like they did it so well, and her body looked so mangled.
I mean, it
I couldn't watch
feels
it.
okay there because there's a thing with this movie where it's just like there's more blood in places where there like probably shouldn't be. The first one that I noticed is in the premonition when Peter is killed because he gets all those like rebar slide
Yes.
into him, but then he
Hmm.
falls and he like sort of like just like hits the edge of the cement at the bottom of the bridge. And
It's
there's
so
like
bitchy.
it's almost like it's like you squash a mosquito and there's just like this blue like and then he just falls and it's just like I don't think that there'd be like that much blood. I mean, look, I'm no forensic expert to know that like this is
Oh,
what
the
happens to the
splat?
human body. Yeah, that it
I
would
think
be.
so. Maybe. I thought it was cute, a cute little effect. Little,
Well, I didn't. I don't hate it. I'm just saying that it's
yeah,
just like it seemed a little silly.
explosive.
But then like
Yeah.
with Candace, because she's sort of like she lands, and obviously like she lands in a way that like her bones are like breaking out of her body. But
Yeah.
like the amount of blood that comes like splat like instantly, where it's just like I don't think that that would happen because like even if there's like a rupture to
Hmm.
this skin.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm not even talking about like whether or not someone can land that way. I'm all for like the messed up physics of these movies and like anything
Hmm.
could happen that way. But it's just like if a bone is gonna like snap out of the body or protrude, I would expect like at least like the blood will like slowly run out of the body if that's the thing. But the way that they did it with her, it just like splat and there's just like
That's so
blood
funny.
that went everywhere.
I can't even remember the blood. Like I didn't even I think that part to me didn't stand out at all. It's more her bones breaking is all that really
Hmm.
stood out to me so much. So like I couldn't even tell you how much blood was in that scene. All I remember
Yeah.
is just her bones breaking in such a horrific
Yeah.
way. And then,
Well,
you know, Peter losing his mind from that part on
yeah.
in the film.
Well, it was the screw or the nail that was on
Oh God, yes.
the vaulting thing that was like the most suspense that came from that. And at one point it's like I get like it almost like went between her toes. I'm just like, does she not feel that? But
No, but no, that whole time watching it, I was like, oh, not
yeah.
this time, but my first time watching this movie, even maybe
Hmm.
a few times after that. Like I remember this scene being hard for me to watch because I kept thinking like, ouch. Yeah.
Yeah, Amethyst. I just remember the gymnast advisor saying, "Somebody call 911" after Candace was just bent in half. Like,
Like,
really,
thanks for the
lady? Yeah.
advice, Cheryl. Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
we will.
Is that her name, Cheryl?
No, I just made that up.
You just don't like Cheryl's.
I just love that use the name
The new
Cheryl.
Karen.
Listen,
Yeah.
Cheryl, I don't think Karen is funny. I've never thought
Cheryl.
that was Karen's not a funny name.
Karen.
Cheryl, listen, Cheryl, like that's just a funnier name.
Yeah. No, fair.
Shut up, Cheryl. Um, um,
Yeah.
and I saw that Craig asked us a question earlier, but it's gone now. I can't see it. But it was something
Oh, let's
about
zoom up here.
it was a good
Scroll up.
question about the hottest people in the movies, and I want to know what the question
The
was.
hottest people in the movies. Maybe. Oh, is it which lead actor is your favorite for best looking in the first five films? That's
Oh,
the
okay.
question. Yeah.
This guy was pretty cute in this one.
Okay, who do we
Uh,
have? So
Devon Sawa.
Devon Sawa. We've got I guess like the
Luck.
cop in this,
Oh
because
yeah,
like,
the that's right. The second one.
yeah. Well, because it was like she was more of like I mean, I guess like
Yeah.
the boyfriend or whatever. So I gotta look it up.
Oh.
I gotta go on
Uh,
IMDb. I know that the
the
guy
Luck
in
of the Irish.
four, he wasn't he in the Scream TV show?
I don't remember who was in Scream. The fourth one. Let me see. Final Destination 4.
Michael Landis is the one in Final Destination 2.
Him,
Um,
I remember specifically. Is this guy is Nick Zano the main character of 4 or no?
no, he was the guy that got sucked into the pool.
Oh, because I'm like he's a pretty handsome guy.
Ryan Merriman. was in three. He is the one from Halloween Resurrection. Deckard.
And Luck of the
Deckard.
Irish. Luck
Luck
of
of
the
the
Irish.
Irish. Never saw it.
Oh.
Where's the Final Destination? Bobby Campo. Uh,
Bobby Campo.
I mean, I feel like they're all like very good looking fellas. I think that you know, yeah, I would say like this guy for sure. But I mean, like,
Yeah.
I would give it to Devon Sawa because it's just like, he means more to me.
Yeah.
Um, Devon Sawa, I would say,
Yeah.
that's the one. That's the one I would go for. And I
I'd
like
probably
his
go.
character the best too.
I have to see who's the tallest, but if without knowing height, I would probably say this one, the guy from
Is
this
it
movie.
because like do they have to be tall? Like do you only like
I'm tall, and I
uh
like tall guys in general. Yeah.
because it's like if they're shorter you have to like
I have to bend over,
kneel
and yeah, and
down
my
or you have
ex-boyfriend
to
was
like
5.
bow.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm with a child. Like my ex-boyfriend was 5'9", and I don't like bending over to hug someone. I'm like, no, I want to be able to like at
Yeah.
least be somewhat similar
Do
level.
you think that's like all like tall guys? Like you're 6'4"?
6'4", yeah.
Yeah.
6'3.5", 6'4". But like, and some
Yeah.
guys like that. Some guys like to be the tall one that's like, I like a little tiny guy. Like I had an ex like that. Like he
Yeah.
literally wanted to break up with me because I wasn't short enough. I totally get it.
Oh
Like
wow.
he liked short guys, and I'm like, I like guys
The
almost
sh
equal of my height.
short kings.
Yeah.
How is 5'10"?
5'10's a great average height. That's my, but then when I think of 5'10, that's my dad's height, and I just think of
And then
my
you
dad
think of
as
your
well.
dad, and then you're just like
Yeah, I think of
it's
my
in your head.
dad.
Yeah, yeah.
No, but
Hmm.
5'10's good. But I have a 5'11. 5'11 plus is usually my
Okay.
rule. Like, and I even came up with a little song. I was like,
Interesting.
if you're 5'10, you can think again. If you're 5'9, you can get in line. If you're 5'8, we can't date. I have this whole thing I came up with.
Did it, did it, did it? Oh, wow. Okay, interesting. Yeah. Because
But yeah,
yeah, my ex was, I mean, say like, I don't know exactly. Maybe 6'3", 6'4". I
oh.
don't, um, so I'm just wondering, like, was I just too short? Is
No, you
that,
just no, no, and like, and yeah, it just just
yeah,
preference. I guess some people have preferences. Who knows? But
preference. I don't. I just like it's just like whatever,
it's just what's
it's the
inside.
it's just what's inside that counts.
It's strange. Usually,
Yeah.
only ugly people say that. No, I'm totally kidding.
Oh wow.
I got that from a movie.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, so wait, so you said Devon Sawa as well? Or you said that you wouldn't know, you'd have to like look
no,
at their
I would
heights
say
and
I think. Well, yeah, that was kind of a joke, but based on just
yeah.
their faces, I would say probably the guy from this movie. I
Yeah.
think. Yeah, I thought the guy
Yeah.
from this movie was really, really cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Or Peter, if you want a little bit of that Tom
Tom Cruise?
Cruise. Yeah.
No, I will only see Tom Cruise when I look at him.
Yeah.
But no, he was a very good Tom Cruise. And I thought the most beautiful girl in this one was the rocker girl. I just think her style was so
Olivia.
like
Yeah. Her Lisa Loeb.
inconsistent. Yeah, like
Yeah.
she was so punk rock, like very 2011 punk with like the white and black striped shirt in the beginning.
Yeah.
But then she like had like beautiful hair. Like it just didn't
Hmm.
look like punk. It looked like just like so styled. And then she had like big high red high heel boots on at the laser office,
Okay.
which I was just like, those don't look very punk rock. Like I was like, what is your style? Like what are I don't know.
Yeah. I would go for I'm just gonna stick to the original. I would go for Ali Larter.
Oh,
Devon
she's
Sawa and
just
Ali Larter. Just
stunning.
like yeah. It's
Stunning. Oh
those
my
two,
God.
yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Gorgeous. Gorgeous pair.
Hmm. Anyway, any other questions, Craig, about
About our
who's
attraction.
who do we prefer the most?
But I will say one thing.
And Tony Todd, like give
Oh,
that to
he's
him.
always a
Yeah,
handsome guy.
so
Yes.
handsome. Yeah, and that voice.
Yes. Oh, I
Yeah.
can't do it.
I just be like, he just talked to me as
Yes.
Candyman the whole
You
time.
show up in my mirror whenever you want.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, well,
You
I
can
just thought it
crawl
was
into my medicine cabinet.
I'm hooked, that's for sure. Um,
No.
but in this one, it's weird too because of, when they run into the laser office and they're like, "We're here, we're looking for Olivia. She's in danger." And they're like, "No, she's actually fine." And then you hear her scream off camera. But I'm
Yeah.
like, she was already screaming for a while. So like, did they not hear those screams?
Okay, I had to pause the movie and rewind because like they came rushing into the office like something had happened. Like they like knew she was in danger. And
Yes.
I'm just like, did I miss something? Because I remember like when she left, because she's like, I gotta be somewhere, and the the picture frame fell and it like cracked where her eye was. So I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
wait, did they go back to the office and they saw that? Because it was like maybe that's the thing that said like she's next or she's in trouble or this
Oh
is gonna happen.
yeah.
But it's like, no, literally they're like all outside of the massage parlor and they're just sort of like, we should probably go tell Olivia. And they just sort of like saunter away. So I'm just
Okay.
like, so somewhere like in between there, like they're just like this urgency came out of nowhere because they had to like rush in and be like, we're looking for our friend. And they're
That's
like,
so they
okay.
burst into this like professional office. They knew
Yeah. I
exactly where to
mean,
find
we're,
her.
we're not, we don't even care about HIPAA or anything. Like, just like
Yeah.
go right in. Go, you just, come on, like you go first. I'll follow behind.
And especially back then too, because like there wasn't like GPS. So like how did you find where places were so easily?
Yeah, because
I don't know.
it wasn't like she's like, I am going to get LASIK at this place
Yeah.
specifically. Also, I wanted to ask you, what is it says they say that they work at like a paper factory or
Oh
like they're
yeah.
but like the I guess like the factory portion of it, like that ain't they're not making paper in there. What is
No.
going That's like a
No.
steel mill.
Yes. No, so I wrote that down because my question was I was like, what is this factory? I was like, yeah, I put is it a plant? Like a power plant? Because I thought I heard
Mhm.
someone say they called it a plant or whatever, but then
Yeah.
I had to Google it. I was like, what is this company? Because then I also saw that he was a chef or a cook or whatever. So I was
Yeah.
like, is that part of this company? No, it's not. It's a whole different job that he has. Like he's
Yeah.
a cook at night or a chef at night. But yeah, so this is just a paper company. So who knows what they do and what goes on in that factory? Because it
Like
looked
I would
like a
imagine if it's a
vat of
paper
chemicals.
factory, yeah, you would see like paper coming out
Yeah.
and
No, you
just
didn't say
like
one
and then we're
slide.
gonna package paper and like you don't need like people in hard hats and I mean
Yeah.
like I don't know the intricacies of making paper. So
Well,
maybe it's a very dangerous job. But
but like, but I would imagine more of a factory like in like Chucky, like in Child's Play 2 or something like that. Like one of those like with conveyor belts. Like I would picture
yeah.
that over like what they
Yeah.
had, just hooks hanging around everywhere.
Yeah.
And
Like what do you do? You just like take the tree and put it into a thing and then paper comes out? Like
I
I
know.
have
And
no
why is it
idea.
white? How does it
Yeah.
turn white?
I get so they dye it?
I know. I think they
All
dye
these
it and they make sure
questions. Yeah.
is it flimsy enough? Make sure it is. I don't know.
Yeah, and how do you get the glossy paper? There's so many
Yeah.
questions, so many cues I got. But that clearly was not it was a paper mill, is what Craig is saying. I don't know. And how
I
Craig is
guess.
also asking, how does Sam have time to be a sous chef and work at the company? And Craig is the authority on this because he is a chef, so he would know.
Hell yeah.
And
The hours are not like short little hours. Like he's
yeah,
probably in that kitchen until the wee hours of the morning.
yeah. And actually I have a question for Craig because I was
Ah,
thinking about this because it, the end of the movie or towards the end when he was like working at his kitchen job and then he's like, well, I'm gonna like he was talking to Molly, he's like, I'm gonna make you dinner for afterwards. And I feel like most like people that I know who've like worked in kitchens, because I used to work in the restaurant industry, like on the front end. But they would all talk about how like, no, like I don't cook at home. Like I just like I'm done. As soon as
hmm.
like you work like a 12-hour shift, they're just like, I'm not making fucking food when I go home. I know that Craig makes a lot of food at home, but I'm just wondering, like, after you've worked like a shift, like a full shift where you're making food, do you immediately want to be like, oh, let me make food for someone else now and not get paid for it? So
So
that's
true.
the question I have. And for anyone that works in a kitchen.
Or is it like and two, like do you put that much effort into making your own food that you would make for someone else? Like Or
Hmm.
is it does it just come naturally? Like, is that just how you make food in general,
Yeah.
or do you go above and beyond when you're making it for someone else
Well, I
and you
know
don't
that
put that
like
much
Craig
effort in?
absolutely puts effort at like he'll send me pictures of like the pizzas and the lasagnas that he makes.
Ah,
So I know. The question is more so like in terms of like if you've just worked a full shift
yeah. Do
and
you
then you
want
like
to
want
do
to go,
that?
yeah. Yeah, because those are
Hmm.
I believe he'll do more so on his day off. But yeah, the like the life of a kitchen worker and especially like a sous chef or whatever, like that's a lot of hours. So like for him to be working at this paper company all day. This
Yeah.
paper company that's like not even like no one even works there. Like that's the thing. Like why did they shut down? Like nine people on their staff died, and then suddenly it felt like everyone's job was getting cut. Like
Yeah.
I might have missed something, but it just felt like whoever was like actually running that place probably died on that bus because like everything just sort of went to pot after that.
Right, because I guess Dennis was like the only boss left, and he was allowing them to drink at the job. Like they were all just like holding up bottles of alcohol at work.
Hmm.
They were like, and then like
Yeah.
Nathan walks in like 6 pack of beer. Got it from Roy's truck. I was like, what are these like fucking high school kids? Like, that was just
Yeah.
so weird. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, so they just felt like a bunch of that was. I remember going into this movie being like, are they in college? Like, are they young? I can't remember. They all acted kind of like young. But no, they were like normal like early 30s, I think.
Yeah, late 20s, early 30s.
Candace was the only one
But
that I think was like in college. She's the only like
well, because
one.
she was
The
a intern.
intern. Yes,
She was
yes.
sleeping with the intern.
With Tom Cruise. Yeah.
Yeah. So Craig is saying, so for me, it is kind of like if the staff wants me to cook dinner for them, I am not down. But once I get home, hell yes, I am ready to cook at my own pace and in the AC. It
That's
gets
awesome.
very hot in those kitchens. Amethyst, it sounds like they were already downsizing since Nathan and Roy were arguing about his hours getting cut. That's true. And wasn't there like a
Mm.
bit at the beginning? Because like, didn't Sam mess something up and then he was afraid that he was going to get in trouble and
I thought that
Pete, he
was
was
at the
talking to
restaurant.
Peter.
Was that wasn't Oh, okay, because I know at the
I
restaurant
don't
didn't he like well I know that happened also at the restaurant because like it was like the first thing he made like someone came back and like hey so they said that there's no flavor and it's like so what do they want me to do like do you want me to make something else he's like no they want the check.
I
I'm
don't
like
know
God
who
he
that was. That was like, was he a server? Was he like the
I think that
snooty?
was their server. Yeah, it was like his that
I-
was like the table server. So he brought it back. I'm like, God, can Sam do anything right? Jesus Christ.
But he seemed more like the maitre d', which just felt weird that he was like coming back there. But then yeah, that's the thing. Like it's just like you don't speak to like the kitchen like that.
But then I
But
love that
they
he got the Paris scholarship or like the program
Yeah,
in
no, but
Paris.
I love that the chef just came over and he's like, "Let me try it." Like the food is great. Like the customer's an asshole in his French
Oh yeah,
accent.
yeah, yeah. True.
But no, it's just like the I don't know who that guy was that came back. Like he was a dick. It was like,
He
and
was a
that
day
guy's an
player.
asshole too. But he was
Mhm.
totally a day player. I'm just a day player. He should have been crushed in the garage. But
Yes.
no, it's just like there's this juxtaposition of like here's this horrible job where this guy like will not call you by your name, even though he knows what it is. He didn't even like I guess he thought that the other Isaac was dead too. He's like, who's Isaac? And like listed him as like
Mm.
among the dead at the funeral. So he has this job where he's like he hates this job. He's treated like crap, and then he goes to the kitchen and like it's just so fun, like he's like he loves what he's doing, everyone is there, and I don't know, it was definitely a choice to like have him working both jobs. I guess they just really wanted to it really all just comes down to the plot twist at the end of going to Paris and getting
Yeah,
him on
but
the plane. They needed
why
a
wouldn't he it wouldn't it make more sense for like his company like wouldn't he get a promotion at his company that would send him to Paris like at the regular
I mean,
rather than like hey we're a restaurant we have this amazing program in Paris and we're actually gonna like
yeah.
send you there. I mean maybe that happens. I don't know. Like
Yeah.
maybe Craig would you does that happen? Are there programs in Paris that you get sent to through
Yeah.
your restaurant? They're
It's
like yeah
but
we have the staff for that.
But it's just one of those things where it's like that's where you take a script and then be like, okay, there's a lot going on here. How do we streamline this a lot more?
Yeah.
Because there's just so much going on with this character.
Because I would
But
believe it more if it was like he wanted to get promoted within his company that they all work
yeah.
at, and I
Yeah.
don't know.
But just like something more contextual to what like in the first movie they're going to Paris because that's a class trip to Paris.
Mm,
And then at the end they're going to Paris because it's like we're celebrating the fact that we've like survived and nothing's going to stop us from making this trip, you know.
yes,
So it just
so
yeah, it just
true.
felt like an added thing extra because like him being a chef did not really play into any sort of context rather than sort of like this is the arena where like the showdown at the end is going to happen
Yes.
and he's got this job offer to
Well, it
go
was
to.
super. There was like so many red flags when that scene started at the end too, because like he has Molly meet him there, and there's like every candle that the restaurant has ever owned is lit. And I was like,
Hmm.
whoa, okay, let's calm down, buddy, because that probably took you an hour and a half, and that's freaking weird,
Yeah.
because now you're gonna have to like, make her wait while you blow those out.
Yeah.
Um, but and I also wanted to like laugh at some of the makeup in this movie. Molly specifically, her makeup choices, um, were just a little cartoony. Like in the end scene, she has a black smoky eye and a red lip. Not the end scene, but the big showdown scene. I
Yeah.
was like, why do they have her looking like a showgirl? They gave her black, just so much makeup. And then before that, I think it was the second to last scene, she has blue eyeshadow on, and this is like when everyone's been dying, everyone's being killed all around her. They're not sure if they're gonna make it, if they're not gonna survive. And she's like talking to him, and I'm like, she has blue eyeshadow on. I just think that when you think about the character getting ready that morning, like she was just like, she took out her eyeshadow palette, she made sure to blend, and she was like, I'm gonna put a little sparkle in here too. And I
Yeah.
just like when you think about that, it just makes me laugh because I'm like, would she
Well,
really
I
have
mean,
done
it's
all
still
that?
like she's not in any danger herself,
She
or like
knows she's gonna
apparently,
live.
yeah.
She was like, "You said I lived in that, right?" I'm like, "Okay,
Right? Like,
cool." So
okay,
I'm
I'm
just
gonna
gonna
put on the
blend my
blue.
eyeshadow.
Yeah, yeah,
I think I'll go with
yeah,
I'll go with blue today. I think I will. It's fine.
yeah. Yeah, I want to
But no, you
see
should.
in like movies like this, like I love to see just sort of like people start to like look more like worn down and tired and whatever. And I
Mhm.
mean, they did that with Devon in the first one because I just remember
Oh
him like
yeah.
looking like stringier and sweatier as like the movie went on.
Hmm.
And like he was living in that like cabin in the woods at one point. But even like movies like Urban Legend, like I love how Rebecca Gayheart's hair just becomes like bigger and poofier as
Yes.
like she becomes crazier.
Hmm.
So yeah, I want to see like the deterioration of a character through their makeup, through their
Oh,
hair, and just like how they look.
a great example. Have you seen The Housemaid that just came out this past
Yeah,
year?
yeah.
So how about Amanda Seyfried? Like as the movie goes on, like you'll notice her hair starts like coming out like a little undone, a little frizzy.
Yeah.
Her makeup is a little smudged, her mascara, and like so I just like
Mm,
that. Like as her character starts to deteriorate, she's not as perfect looking, and I think that's a really
yeah.
cool, clever visual way of showing
Yeah.
that.
But I also feel like in like this era of this like this very like millennial horror era where it just like it was not about making things look authentic. It was about making it look like The Hills or something. You know,
Yeah,
like I think what's
how
it
everyone
so
looked at the time, like just like acceptable for the time.
Sorority Row, for instance, it was just sort of like
100%.
everything has to look like MTV or you know
Hot.
whatever. Yeah.
What's very of the
Paris
time. It was
Hilton.
very of the time. Like
Yeah.
the just like I can tell immediately from the bang. Like if someone has a side bang that's like blunt right here and then like long
Hmm.
hair, I'm like that is so 2009 through 2012. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
So what as a makeup artist, what would you have had? Like just say for instance, Olivia. How would her character look and dress?
Olivia, I would have given her more hair like Claire in the first movie. Like Claire was more of that like stringy bang. It looks a little
Yeah.
bit more like Jennifer Love Hewitt in I Know You Did
I
Last
know,
Summer. It's the
yeah.
same exact bang. You know what her bangs did last summer. Um and I would make it a little bit flatter, like less big. It looks like they had extensions in, like very 2012. Like tons of like
Hmm.
thick, she had all this thick and the way that they curl the hair too was very loose, and that was very much not of the time. Like if like so I think they should have just had it a little bit like more like her, more clear in the first one, how it looked like just
Yeah.
natural texture as opposed to it being styled and all like big and bouncy and pretty.
Yeah.
Um,
I think it's
yeah,
funny also Ali Larter's look between the first and the second movie is so drastically different. I mean, she's like
it is
full on
because
blonde, but her
yeah,
hair is
because
like not even the same.
but it's funny because like you're like, so are you trying to tell me that you're naturally a platinum blonde and that you like let your dark hair like color grow out? Because I'm
Mhm.
like, I doubt that you're dyeing your hair while you're in this mental
Yeah.
facility.
No, she wouldn't
So
even have paper clips. So
no, so like that's
yeah.
just funny. You trying to tell me that your hair is naturally platinum blonde and that's how it
Yeah.
grew out? Yeah, but
Yeah. Amethyst is saying, asking, since the movie was made for 3D, do you guys think the effects in this movie feel dated? Okay, so that was actually a question I was gonna ask because like I thought that the only 3D one was 4, and this
yeah,
one because there were parts in it where like, oh, that seems like when she falls on the mast on the
yes,
sailboat. I'm just like, was
yeah.
that supposed to be a 3D effect?
100%. And the whole intro, the whole opening credits, that slow
Yeah.
motion like explosions and glass flying around, very that was all 3D.
Yeah.
And
So it
then I
was
think
released in 3D.
I think so because I think
Yeah.
yeah, but and then Olivia when she falls and her eyeball comes out and it's
Yeah.
bouncing on the ground, that was 3D. Like I remember that.
Yeah.
So I think they just worked on it to make it less distractingly annoying as the fourth one. The fourth one was just like,
Okay.
look at me, I'm 3D, I'm 3D, I'm 3D.
It's like Friday
But
the
this
13th
one,
part 3 where they're just like, here's a
yeah.
snake and a yo-yo.
Let's put it in 3D. You feel like you can touch it, can't you? No, but
Yeah.
yeah, so I think this one they just tried to minimize it maybe a little bit.
FD5 was definitely made for 3D. The Final Destination was meant to be the last one for real, but it did so well they made 5 and did it in 3D like 4. Okay, that's right. I mean, these movies make so much money, actually. So, budget was 40 million in 2011, made
Mm,
158 million. I'm gonna see what like the most recent one uh made. Actually, let's just go in order of like all the films here. So the first movie cost 23 million in 2000, made 113 million. I just
hmm.
like have to be like precise of like because no one ever adjusts for inflation. So when like people
Yeah.
are talking about like Scream 7, it's just like Scream 7 is the first film of the franchise to surpass 200 million. I'm like, technically, yes, but this is also like very inflated, whereas actually I think like Scream 1 is the most profitable movie. So it's just like actually like the box office for the first three movies like far exceed what the Scream movies are making now.
Yeah. No,
Um,
I can see that.
so
That's
just
for
like, yeah,
sure.
every time like someone brings that up, I wish that they would just like, say like for inflation or just like actually figure out the adjustments. But
Mm.
unfortunately, I do
And
not have the adjustments for Final Destination. What's that?
well, when you look at how much a movie made from back then, like, do you are is that also including VHS sales and DVD sales afterwards, or is that not including that?
I don't think that it is on here, or at least like what I'm looking at on Wikipedia.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, because I mean
Because I
like
know that
those
was a
like
big part
movies
of the
don't
sales.
yeah, they don't make any money through DVD sales or any of that. Like very
Mm-mm.
little. I mean, there's probably more money to be made through the streaming sales, but even then, like that's such a sketchy network because it's like they don't have all the data to show like how much is actually, being like generated through like the revenue from that.
Yeah. Well, and actually, I don't know if anyone knows this, but like, so I have a Regal membership, right? And so I pay $25 a month, and I can go as many times as I want. So like, say like, do like my reservations for movies, does that count as like money towards the movie? Like what? Because
Yeah.
I'm not paying the full ticket price.
I
I'm not paying anything. I'm paying the
yeah.
theater.
I feel
So
like it would be
like, can they
maybe it's
include
almost
me?
maybe it's almost like YouTube Premium. Because like
Okay.
you pay for like to get no ads, so like I'll see a thing on like my analytics where it's just like this video made this much money from premium users, so it's just like it's a
Okay.
a, a
Because yeah.
lesser amount, but it's just sort of like they make sure to divvy it up. Or there's also it might work that it's just sort of like the screens, like it's just like the theaters pay in terms of that. So like that's why like movie theaters will stop showing movies because it's like okay, we're not. getting enough people to come in and justify having these
Mm,
shows. So it's more of
yeah.
like they'll be able to like estimate like, okay, this is a lot of people are going to come see this. I don't honestly, I have no idea. I
Yeah,
could
I
sit here
was
and make
just
shit up.
because I
Um,
always wondered that. I'll go see a movie 5 times. So that would be like really helpful for. I mean, not really helpful for the movie, but I'm just saying like that's it. But I'm not paying for a movie 5 times.
yeah,
So I'm like,
no, that's
oh, I
fair.
wonder how that works.
Okay, so first Final Destination budget
Yes.
23 million, box
Hmm.
office 113 million. Final Destination 2 budget 26 million, box office 90.9, so 91 million, and that was 2003. Final Destination 3 budget was 25 million. It made 119 million. It's 2006. The Final Destination cost 40 million and it made 187 million. This one already said 40 million, made 158 million. And the most recent one, 50 million, made 318 million.
Well, so they spent 10 million more, but also with inflation.
Yeah. I feel like with
So,
inflation, that's still the sixth one was probably the most profitable because that's like over 300
oh yeah.
million. Like even like whatever the first one made, which was 113, even that
Hmm.
inflate like it would not be that
No.
much
Oh no,
inflated
definitely not.
in today's dollars. So yeah, it's
Yeah,
wild. I mean they marketed the new one really well.
I feel like 2011, huh? Like Scream 4, and then this one, like they both
Mhm.
didn't do as well, huh?
I think this one did pretty well. Five.
In
It
comparison to
didn't.
the rest of them?
It did well. Two was the least successful,
Oh,
and
okay.
Craig pointed that out here. But the this one, it didn't make as much as four. But maybe who knows? It could have just been a multitude of things. Like there's been movies that have like come out of like been very well received, have made a lot of money, and there's like like a build up for like a sequel is like a runway for a continuation, and the studio, for one reason or the other, might be like, well, we're not gonna make that movie, or we're not ready to
Yeah.
do that. Like, who knows what their reasons are ultimately. But I mean, like, obviously there's gonna be a Final Destination 7.
Oh, for sure. I think
There's
they're already working
obviously
on it.
there's going to be a Scream 8. We already know that. So you know, if in the case of like Scream 4, I could see why that would be the last one for such a long time because even though it made money, it wasn't enough to sort of justify like let's keep this going, especially with like whatever the plan was at the time.
Yeah. And they
Uh,
definitely didn't do enough push with that movie for sure.
No, they sort of like fell back on the laurels of just sort of like, well, it's a Scream movie. Of course it's gonna do well. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
well, you can't rely on that. But yeah, Craig is saying 113 million is worth 216 million today, US dollars. So
And Amethyst is
from
saying,
2000 to 2026.
I would assume Regal has to pay the licenses to show the films, so the Regal Pass would go towards that. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the snacks is how they break even. Yeah, which I
Oh,
never
those
get.
snacks.
Which I
Fair.
never got.
Yeah. But then
I,
the exhibitors like they get half
mm,
of whatever like the ticket sales are, and then the rest go to the studios. So like that's why the like I just think of like that the Matt Damon thing or what he said, where it's just like you make a movie for $50 million, or there's just like if it's 25 million, you have to
mhm.
pay 25 million for marketing as well. So that's 50 million because the exhibitors take half. That means that the movie has to make 100 million before you break even. Uh,
Why is
so
marketing always twice as much? Because like, does it just matter how much the film costs? Because I'm like, wouldn't marketing just start being like a set price? Like,
That's what I would think.
Marketing should be like, say it's $20 million, then like it doesn't matter how much your movie costs to make, it should always just be $20 million to market it. I don't understand
Yeah.
why the more expensive your movie, the more expensive the marketing has to be.
I think it just has
But
to do with a lot, like it depends on like what the movie is. Because like I don't think that the market, I don't think that's a set rule that it's like double of like what your budget is. I think that it's just that's maybe like a rule of thumb that's sort of like averaging
mhm.
out that it's probably around double. Because there's certainly some movies that are cheaper, but it's almost like if you've made an investment that's $25 million to produce a movie, then if you're only spending $1 million to market it, like you're not like that, you're probably not going to see that much like not enough people are going to go to that movie. So it's kind of like an idea that like you want to spend as much money on marketing as it costs to make because that's just increases the chances that people are going to come and see the
True.
movie. Um, and that's why you see so many movies that like get produced and then when it comes time to distribute them like they might like sit on a shelf for years or like the studio has kind of no faith in it so they just sort of like they'll like soft launch it or just it'll be a very limited release and it'll make like no money because it's almost like at that point it's like the studio deciding like, okay, well, we have to cut our losses as much as possible, so we're just like not going to advertise this movie at all. Just sort of like, we've already spent $25 million on it or whatever. Let's not spend any more money and just sort of like
Yeah.
recoup as much as we can.
Because you could probably make a little bit more money with marketing it, but like not enough to make up for
Yeah.
the marketing costs. So
It's definitely it's a gamble because you don't know like
a
it might be a
gamble.
thing and if studios are looking at a movie and being like, oh, this is a piece of shit, the critics are going to hate it. There's no way that we can even market this. Like it's like if you have like a concept that's really confusing or whatever, that's just like how do we even sell this to audiences? They might just imagine that like for instance, like The Bride, this like the remake that
Hmm.
just came out of The Bride of Frankenstein, which I think cost $90 million to make. And I think because it was like a musical, it was like all these things. It's very like
Yeah.
stylized and experimental that I think the studio was just like, we've already spent so much money on this. Like, I don't think that it's a good idea to spend even more to market this in a way because we're not going to make a profit. We're going to lose more money if we try to market this
I don't know
to
anyone that liked that movie.
I mean, I haven't seen it, and
I haven't seen one
yeah,
good review about it.
yeah,
I've all seen that the main actress does a great job in what she's given to do, but it's not a performance that anyone enjoys watching.
yeah,
Yeah, that's what
yeah.
I've said
I
so
mean,
far.
I just wasn't interested in the fact that it was a musical. Like
Hmm.
that was kind of a turn on. Not that I like have anything against musicals. Clearly, I have my guilty pleasures, but it just seemed like it was doing the what was like that Joker
Oh
sequel
God,
with
yeah,
Lady
where it's like a
Gaga,
half-ass kind of
which I
musical.
also
Mhm.
didn't see. But like that, I'm just not interested in that like style of movie.
Well, you know, Final Destination 7 is a musical.
I mean, about
I'm just kidding.
time. I mean,
Imagine.
they've wasn't uh Bring It On 7. And yes, there was like that many movies, but it was just like a
Holy
horror
crap.
movie. Yeah, it was because it's, Bring It On is like the cheerleader one, and then they did a seventh one. They're like, we're gonna make this one a horror movie.
I had no
Uh
idea.
yeah, apparently so. But that whole franchise was straight to video after the first one.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
no,
it's
that's
it's
true.
always funny when like these franchises like they'll get to a certain number and they'll be like, "Hey, let's just do this for this one." And it's
Yeah,
just like
right.
some like
Let's try
totally
something
random.
different. Well,
Yeah.
I'm sure you know about Chucky. This new one's supposed to come to theaters, whatever.
Yeah, that
Um,
seems like it's the plan, which I mean that would be very interesting if it did because as a franchise, 1 to 5 were all theatrical releases, and then it just sort of went straight to video with 6 and 7, then became the television series got canceled. So it's almost like I mean, I'm curious as to like what this process is going to be for Don Mancini because like how do you get the like Child's Play is not a dead franchise, but it's sort of like you've kind of like it's been so long since it was here, you've continued the story, and unless you're like doing like a full-on reboot, it's
So
kind of like it's risky. I don't know if like a lot of studios would want to invest in that.
his plan right now is to keep everything canon, everything from the show canon, everything canon from every other movie, but to bring the mood and feel back of Curse of Chucky.
Hmm.
That's what he said. And like,
Interesting.
and I don't know enough about Curse or Cult. I think I watched everything up to Seed like so many times, like even including Seed of Chucky, like especially Seed actually, because I was right in that
Yeah.
same age time period where I was a teenager. I watched that one a zillion times, and then when Cult and Curse came out, I didn't watch those as much.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I don't
Well,
know them as well, but
we'll see what happens.
yeah, I'm
Maybe
excited either way.
before we wrap this up, we should probably steer back towards Final Destination in a way.
Yes.
Let me
I,
think. I don't know.
I will say, well, I will just say I when watching that making of today was just so cool because they really did build the entire like section of the bridge because you know how like the
Hmm.
bridge breaks in two portions and so they're on that
Hmm.
island. They
Yeah.
really built that and there was so many green screens. I mean, about a huge part of the budget was probably just for that. And I have a fear of heights. I have a really for a tall person like a really big fear of heights,
Yeah.
and
Do you just get scared walking?
yeah, exactly. I looked down. I was whoa. No, but I was even scared watching them on the platform that they were on. They were acting on. I was like, I would be even scared on
Yeah.
that thing. But I think that is so cool, and that's partly why I want to join the union because I want to like work on sets where I can like see that kind of stuff being made. People on
Yeah.
harnesses, and I'm like, can I try the harness? I've always wanted to be thrown across a room on a harness.
That'd be so much fun. And
Always.
then you'd be able to say, like, wait, what year does this movie take place in? All right, we're not gonna give her blue eyeshadow.
Yeah.
She's going on like what's she going through right now?
Take out
And
her
like,
extensions.
yeah,
Yeah, take out those
yeah.
damn extensions. She looks great, but this is too
Mm.
modern.
Hmm.
Let's make her look stringy and like more like that like grunge 90s vibe.
Okay.
That's what she should have been.
Okay. So if you had to choose, okay, let's just keep it not so morbid here, but if you had to choose a disaster to survive
Ah,
of like we'll even include the sixth one because I think like, people know what that is from the trailers. But
yes.
we try not to spoil things if we haven't talked about the movie yet, for anyone confused as to why. But which of those six scenarios would you most rather survive in?
Do you think which one I think I would survive in?
Not even like what you think, but like if you had to go through like a harrowing experience and you're gonna survive at the end. You don't know if you're going to
Okay.
survive, but you're gonna survive at the end. Which one would
How would I
you?
survive the plane explosion?
That's actually a very good question. Like it renders this whole question
I'm like,
moot.
is there a parachute that I'm like I find and I can jump out right before the explosion?
Okay, but you like okay, let's say you premise.
Okay, I'm the vision. I have the vision.
You're the
Yes.
visionary. So let's reframe this question. If you had visions, which disaster do you think that you would rather have a vision of
And have to go through. Yeah, which one would I
through
choose to
and
go
then wake up
through?
from? Yeah.
I think I would, I guess the bridge. I feel like I would survive the bridge. I'm gonna say that right now. I think I would survive the bridge. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
terrified of heights, but when my adrenaline's like, I would have like dove off that bridge immediately and just tried to like
Yeah.
land in the water in a way that I would survive and just try to swim as fast as I can away.
Yeah. I think that like the bridge one is definitely like if I was to have a premonition, I would appreciate that one more because there's more open space. I feel like, with the plane and the highway log truck thing and the roller coaster, like you're very confined to what you're in, and that
Mm-hmm.
terrifies me. Like I don't like being confined in any sort of way. Like I can get
Mm.
like claustrophobic.
The
So
roller
like with the
coaster.
with the bridge scenario where it's like okay, we can just like run for it and like try to get across.
Mm-hmm.
Um Actually maybe okay, I'm just thinking now like the race car track because at least there's not like heights that you're gonna fall from, but there's like shit flying everywhere and
Everywhere.
there's like almost like you can get trampled to death.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like that could happen on the bridge too, because there's like wires and stuff.
That's so
I'm
true.
surprised no one got decapitated like ghost ship style in this
Mm.
movie, but I don't know, definitely not the tower. That's freaky. I don't think I could.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
too high. That is too
that's
high.
that's uh that's that's off limits. So it would either be the Bridger or the race car. But I mean, like, when would I ever go to a race car thing? And that's just my personal preference. I don't enjoy
Right.
watching stuff like that.
But I couldn't do I mean, the roller coaster one seems like it would be absolutely terrifying just
Yeah,
because you're literally trapped in that.
yeah, yeah.
So I don't know, but I think
Amethyst is
yeah.
saying the racetrack because I wouldn't be there in the first place, and if I survived it,
Yeah.
I wouldn't go back. The building also started collapsing during the race crash. Okay, so Amethyst, that means that you're just like laying it in bed at home, and you have a vision that you're at a racetrack, and then it collapses. That's cheating. You're cheating. Um,
That's so true. You're like, oh, poor people. I hope they made it out okay.
yeah,
I
Craig
hope.
is saying, what's that?
No, nothing. What did Craig say?
Oh, well, part four just had this little fence which doesn't protect at all. Even though I am Southern, I would not sit there at a racetrack without a proper fence and guard. I would never do the tower. Yeah, the tower is just, yeah. Can't wait to talk about the tower. All right, well, I think that that's actually a very good time for us to transition over to the cherry picker.
It's not like we kill people on purpose.
Alrighty, last week we asked you who deserves to die the most in Scary Movie. I nominated Buffy Gilmore. Tim, you nominated the sheriff.
That's right.
Across Patreon, Instagram, and YouTube, the final tally was 165 for Buffy versus 440 for the
What?
sheriff.
Woo! Yes.
Yeah, congratulations. Let's
Thank you.
see what the good folks have to say about that particular poll. So, we've got Blue Box. Buffy is not very likable, but she's got at least a couple of great moments. Oh my God, we hit a boot! And Greg's death scene. The sheriff is barely there, is a barely there character, but he's got the pictures scene, which is so hilarious. So I guess my vote goes to the sheriff because I enjoy Buffy being on screen more. By the way, Brenda better be cherry on top. I would accept a double cherry with Brenda and Sydney, though. I don't know if we do double cherries.
No
It
double
was it
cherries.
was Brenda, though. We did pick
It
Brenda.
was, it
Yeah.
was, it was.
Yeah. David Garrido, the sheriff, because he didn't realize that one of his officers was a killer until they got away and already drove off.
And he's a pedo.
Taylor Klug, Buffy, all the way. She had it coming. The Sharif just wanted to share his modeling pics. Mad Apple, the sheriff. I'll never get that image out of my head. The photo of him nearly naked. Dance Century. Buffy is my favorite character. Nick, Nikki Layton. Sorry, Nikki Late. That's what I'm going with. Oh, heck no. Who nominated Buffy? She's the best. I did.
Mm,
Sam Song. I love how wildly inconsistent Buffy is. She goes from an integral part of Cindy's inner circle to Cindy's high school bully with no explanation why. LOL.
literally.
Stephanie Eileen. The part where she freaks out about the homeless man kind of gives me the ick about her.
I thought that
Uh,
was hilarious. I'm
yeah,
sorry, because it's just funny. It's
yeah.
just a joke. I thought it was very funny.
1730 Lorian. I would say the sheriff, but only because it's apparently impossible to kill Buffy. So why even waste my energy trying to kill her? Even Ghostface was getting annoyed at a certain point.
Mhm.
Whalewolf. After Brenda, Buffy absolutely carried the first movie, LMAO. Spidey fan, I guess the sheriff, if only for the pedo tendency pointed out. But can we just have an option of no one or maybe the you go to your daddy teacher? Also, I loved hearing your perspectives on the LGBTQ plus, sorry if that's not the acronym anymore, I mean, they just keep adding like
Yeah.
letters and letters and letters. I don't know what it is
Mhm.
at this point. Sorry if that's not the acronym anymore. Jokes in the movie and about how those have aged. I think it's important to get members of the community to speak on their viewpoints and experiences.
Very nice.
Oh,
Well
thank
said.
you. Um, all right, you get the first pickaroo.
All right. So for this one, I'm between two people. Let me just
Mm,
I think I'm gonna go with Roy.
remind me.
Roy is the guy that works at the power plant with Nathan, and he's the one that dies by the hook. Because
Right.
he's like the bully. He Nathan can't get the words out. It's like the only time that Nathan stutters in the whole movie, but he stutters once, and the guy is like retard, and he's a big asshole. So I
Mm.
think Roy deserves to die the most.
Um, I think I'm gonna go with Peter because he's just sort of
Tom
like,
Cruise.
yeah,
Ah, no,
but
that's
like,
understandable.
but not what's not Cruise, but like Tom Cruise, like Cruise. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll call him that. Or wrong Cruise, but no, Peter. Because I mean, like, he's just going around killing people willy-nilly or even thinking about it. He was like almost like perverse about it. He's just like everywhere I turned, there was just opportunities.
Well, no,
Uh,
I we didn't even get to talk about that whole like character switch up of him. I think it's just so funny that like because Candace dies, that he all of a sudden like he's just gone completely mad now. He's like completely crazed at that moment, and
yeah.
he thinks about killing random people, but then he says, "I chose not to do that because they were innocent, so I couldn't do it." But then I thought of you, Molly, and how you don't die. And how come you get to live? And I'm like, wait, so Molly's not innocent anymore? Like now you get to kill Molly because you're mad that she didn't die in the first place? So
His
no, his whole
logic
logic,
meter is yeah,
yes.
it's
So I'm adding to that makes sense that you choose him.
yeah.
I can see that.
Uh, so yeah, I'm gonna go with him. Amethyst has got the names. Roy Carlson versus Peter Friedkin. Uh,
Mm.
but yeah, I guess like some of the characters were supposed to have the last names of famous horror directors, but I think only Peter and Olivia do, because her last name is Castle.
Oh, okay.
Craig is asking no, Isaac. Uh, I don't know, like it's just like whatever
That's
as
true.
an option.
Well,
Eh,
Isaac was so confusing because he wasn't like attractive. He wasn't a Chad. He wasn't like this like cool hot guy, but he had so many girlfriends. Like every scene he was like talking to a different girl.
yeah,
He was like a womanizer, but yet he was like
yeah.
ugly and he was like a like not I mean he wasn't ugly, but he was just like not like hot. And he was
He
also
was not
not like
conventionally.
he wasn't smooth. Like remember everyone that he tried talking to in person did not like him. And yet he
Listen,
always had a million girls on the line.
money.
It didn't add up. It wasn't adding up.
Yeah,
At the paper company, he must be making it big at the paper
I think
company.
he had money. Although he was like stealing change from the, I assume
Yeah,
that was like coins
gross.
in the thing. Yeah, it's just I don't think that there was a lot of rhyme or reason put into a lot of like the details of anything in this movie. But yes, cherry on top, we haven't forgotten Amethyst. I think I would say probably your little rocker chick,
Really?
as you call it.
So
Yeah.
I went with Tom Cruise. I went with Peter as Tyrion top.
Oh,
But
damn.
because you want him to
I
die,
I picked him
um
away from you. Yeah.
I just don't like I didn't love her because she doesn't care about the situation at hand. Like she's just like, "Did you get our bereavement pay?" I mean, granted, I'd probably say the same thing. But maybe I do like her then. No, but yeah, I
Well,
don't
who
know.
else do we have?
We have the
Oh,
funny
oh,
boss,
oh, oh, oh.
the boss.
Bloodworth.
No, Tony Todd.
Yeah.
But was he? I feel like I could see him being the cherry of the next movie, but I don't know about this
I don't
one.
care. I'm gonna go with it. I mean,
Okay,
if it's not Olivia, I'm going with her. You're
okay.
welcome
You're right. You're right.
to
You're right.
yeah,
You're right.
yeah.
Okay, okay. So out of those two, I'd say let's go with Tony Todd then.
Okay, it's gonna
Because
be
I just
Tony
feel like she
Todd.
wasn't
Yeah.
big enough of a character. Like she wasn't
Yeah,
impactful.
that's you know. You
No,
know.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe.
It
But
is
yeah,
what
Tony
it
Todd.
is, you know. Ultimately, is it really that big of a deal? Maybe to
I don't
some.
know.
I'm
Maybe, but
not,
that
I'm not gonna take that away from anyone.
the
But yeah,
cherry is still delicious
we're
either way.
going with Tony Todd.
We'll go with Tony Todd. He's a legend.
But yeah, if you would like to participate in this voting and would like to vote for either Rui or Pita, you can head over to firstly Patreon, where even if you're supporting as a free subscriber, which is something you could do, I have all of the polls there set public, so you can do that if you want to get an extra vote. And while you're there, you know, you don't have to do it today, but maybe some point in the future you'll feel like upgrading. So that is always an option. You can also head over to Instagram at the Cherry Picker Pod, and there will be a poll there. So follow us. And then also on YouTube, we post the polls every week. Make sure you're subscribed. I think last week we were at like 6.66K subscribers, and someone was saying,
Ah,
quickly, we need more so we can like get rid of that unlucky number. I kind of liked it, but
that
we
is
did
cool.
surpass it. So yeah, thank you. Make sure that you're subscribed, and if you prefer to listen to the podcast, the RSS feed link is in the descriptions down below. Tim, where can they find you on social media?
You can find me on Instagram at Tim McKay Beauty.
And you can find me on my main YouTube channel, Zach Cherry, and Retro Bitch Face on Instagram and Letterboxd, and Zach Cherry 8 on Twitter. What do we got going on next week?
We are doing the remake of Faces of Death
Faces
in
of
theaters
Death.
now, in theaters currently.
Yes.
And
Currently in theaters. It might be
I,
limited though, but it's not a
yes,
remake. And
it's not.
we will talk all about that next week. So until then, thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and we'll be right back.